Welcome to the Risk Wheelhouse, the podcast where we navigate the ever-changing seas of risk management and technology. Join your hosts, Ori Wellington and Sam Jones, as they steer you through the latest trends, insights, and strategies shaping the future of integrated risk management. Ready to chart a course towards success? Hop aboard and let's set sail into today's deep dive.
Have you ever felt like navigating risk in your organization is like trying to sail through a constantly shifting fog?
Yeah, it's definitely complex.
It's gone far beyond just checking boxes for compliance, hasn't it? It's now about embedding resilience and, well, strategic advantage directly into the DNA of your business.
Exactly. It's a fundamental shift.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a really insightful piece, the 2025 IRM Navigator Vendor Compass for Risk Management Consulting report from Wheelhouse Advisors.
A very useful report.
This report isn't just a survey. It's more like a detailed map showing us how risk management is dramatically evolving and where expert consulting fits into that rapidly changing landscape.
That's a good way to put it. It provides clarity.
Our mission today is to help you understand why risk management consulting, RMC, is no longer just a support function. It's really become a central strategic force in how enterprises operationalize what's called integrated risk management, or IRM. We'll unpack why this shift matters now more than ever, highlight the key players driving this change, and, crucially, provide some practical guidance for how businesses, large or small, can strategically select the right partners.
Yeah, that practical guidance is key.
Over the next few minutes, we'll explore the evolution from traditional GRC, that's governance, risk, and compliance, to this more holistic IRM approach.
A necessary evolution.
We'll dive into the surprising growth of the RMC segment, how cutting-edge AI is shaping this field, and, perhaps most importantly, get into some concrete advice for choosing a consulting provider that truly delivers.
Sounds good. Let's dig in.
Okay, that idea of embedding risk really brings us to the core shift this report highlights. For years, many organizations approached risk through the familiar lens of GRC, but this report points to a fundamental, almost a reinvention of how risk is perceived and managed.
Yeah, what's truly transformative here, I think, is that risk management consulting, RMC, has moved beyond merely implementing software solutions. It's now the central orchestrator of integrated risk management.
Orchestrator, I like that.
Think of it this way. Technology provides the instruments, right? But RMC firms write the score, conduct the orchestra, and make sure everyone's playing in harmony to achieve real enterprise outcomes. Not just outputs, but outcomes.
Okay, so how does the report define that harmony, that IRM?
Well, it lays out IRM around 4 key enterprise objectives, what it calls PRAC: performance, resilience, assurance, and compliance.
PRAC.
Exactly. And these aren't just buzzwords. They're activated through 4 integration points: goals, processes, assets, and policies.
Goals, processes, assets, policies.
Right. So when we talk about RMC's role, it's about making this blueprint a reality. For instance, linking enterprise risk management, ERM, directly to your strategic goals.
Makes sense.
Or connecting operational risk management, ORM, to your core business processes. It means tying technology risk management, TRM, to your critical assets, and even your AI oversight.
AI oversight, that's new.
And then modernizing GRC to serve these broader enterprise objectives, not just, hitting regulatory marks.
So if we look back a bit, how did we get here? The report traces GRC back to the early 2000s. Powerful for compliance, sure, but often resulted in a lot of documentation over actual proactive management.
That's spot on. It could become documentation heavy. IRM really emerged as a structural response to that, emphasizing enterprise-wide coordination, even predictive analytics, and really linking risk directly to performance.
And you're saying this history still matters now in 2025?
Oh, absolutely. This historical context is vital because, honestly, a philosophical split is still very much alive in the market today.
How so?
Some firms now truly lead with an IRM narrative. They see GRC tools as just one enabler within a much larger integrated strategy.
Okay.
Others, though, still present IRM as simply GRC modernization.
So it's more of an upgrade than a fundamental rethink for them.
Kind of. And for you, the buyer, the first approach, the IRM-led one, tends to show stronger cross-segment integration and better alignment with your actual business outcomes. The latter, the GRC modernization view, while often excellent in control rigor, still risks kind of recreating the very silos IRM is designed to break down.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah, I get that. Now, what really jumped out at me from this report were the numbers on market growth. The entire IRM market is estimated to soar from about $61.6 billion in 2025 to a huge $147 billion by 2032.
Massive numbers.
But within that, RMC, the consulting piece, is the fastest growing segment, projected to rise from $9.5 billion to $28.2 billion over the same period. That's a, 16.9% CAGR? Compound annual growth rate.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
What do you think is the biggest driver behind that unexpected acceleration? It seems counterintuitive sometimes, focusing on services over tech.
Well, that explosive growth reflects a simple, undeniable truth. Enterprises aren't just buying individual controls or software anymore. They're buying coordination. They're buying resilience. They're buying tangible performance improvements.
Yeah.
And consulting capacity is where that comprehensive coordination is actually engineered. Think about it. Boards now demand AI assurance. Regulatory environments are constantly shifting.
Yeah, always volatile.
And digital interdependencies mean everything is connected. This forces buyers toward providers who can genuinely integrate strategy, process, assets, and policies into one cohesive IRM program. It takes human expertise to stitch that together.
And the report specifically calls out AI assurance as a new baseline requirement. But it also gives a warning, right? It says the market is long on ambition and short on verifiable delivery for AI. What does that actually mean for someone trying to buy these RMC solutions?
Are you ready to see risk management in action? At Wheelhouse Advisors, we've launched a new YouTube channel dedicated to integrated risk management. You'll find quick explainers, insights from our IRM Navigator research reports, highlights from the Risk Journal, and conversations from the Risk Wheelhouse podcast. We're covering the topics that matter most to executives and risk leaders, from AI governance and cyber insurance to operational resilience and regulatory change. Every video is designed to help you anticipate risks, adapt with confidence, and build resilience in a digital-first world. In our first video, we explain how ISO 42001, the EU AI Act, and the NIST AI Risk Management Framework can work together as a unified playbook for AI risk. Subscribe today at youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv and get the latest insights delivered directly to you. That's youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the risks that matter most.
That's a really critical point. And yeah, the report is quite direct there. Consulting firms are evolving their delivery models significantly. We're moving beyond, the one-off Gen AI pilots.
Right, the shiny object phase.
Exactly. We're moving towards enterprise-grade, multi-agent platforms with auditable trust layers. Think of frameworks aligned with ISO 42001 that's becoming the benchmark for trustworthy AI, ensuring decisions are transparent, accountable, like having a clear audit trail for automated actions.
Yeah.
Companies like KPMG with their Workbench, EY with their agentic platform extensions, Deloitte with Zora, AI GovConnect.ai, PwC with AI Factory, they're essentially productizing parts of their delivery.
So turning services into something more like a product.
In a way, yes. And these shifts directly map to those PRAC outcomes we talked about. Faster analytics for performance, autonomous responses for resilience, auditable provenance for assurance, continuous monitoring for compliance. It all connects.
But the warning.
Yeah.
Long on ambition.
Right. However, you, as the buyer, need to be disciplined. Wheelhouse's analysis found that while there's a lot of impressive talk, most of these platforms still function more like engagement scaffolding. They require significant customization.
So not quite plug and play.
Not usually, no. Think of it like this. Many firms offer you a beautiful toolbox with advanced AI tools, but you still often have to build the house yourself using those tools. It's not a prefab solution dropped on your doorstep.
Got it.
So setting clear verification gates, really budgeting for that integration work, and favoring designs that preserve your optionality, your ability to switch things out later are absolutely key. Don't get locked in too early based on promises.
It really sounds like risk isn't just sitting in a specific department anymore, like the risk office. It's fundamentally becoming interwoven with every part of the organization.
Precisely. Risk is now integrated into algorithms, systems, it's embedded in your supply chains. It even impacts how you access capital through disclosures.
Everywhere, basically.
Pretty much. And this demands orchestration across operational risk management, technology risk management, and GRC. Those are exactly the interfaces where RMC firms design the governance, collect the data or telemetry, and set up the escalation pathways. This integration is also leading to an emerging model sometimes called services as software, or even digital FTEs in RMC.
Digital FTEs?
Yeah, where providers offer subscription-based access to AI agents for continuous control operations. Imagine having AI-powered team members constantly monitoring and managing certain controls 24/7.
Wow, okay. That's a big shift.
It is.
This all sounds potentially very complex, though. So if a business understands this fundamental shift, the growth, the AI aspect, how does the Wheelhouse Advisors report help them cut through the noise and actually choose the right partner? It mentions a vendor compass.
Yes, the vendor compass. It's a brilliant tool, really. It evaluates firms along two crucial axes. First is integration level, basically, how well a provider connects IRM across different domains like ERM, ORM, TRM, GRC.
Okay, the breadth of connection.
Exactly. And the second is service solution coverage, how much of the whole IRM lifecycle a provider can truly deliver, from strategy to operations to technology.
The depth. Makes sense.
Right. Firms are then categorized into 3 tiers: integrator, accelerator, and pace setter, based on a weighted scoring model across 6 criteria.
And AI is weighted heavily.
It is. Notably, AI-enabled delivery and innovation gets a 20% weighting. And for any AI claims, the report emphasizes rigorous verification. You need active client use of a functioning multi-agent platform.
Not just a pilot.
Not just a pilot, documented governance like ISO 42001, demonstrable interoperability with existing systems, and at least one outcome metric directly tied back to PRAC. They really stress. Show me, don't just tell me.
Evidence-based. Okay, so who are some of the top players you see in each of these tiers, according to the report?
Well, the integrator tier, the ones really dominating in cross-segment program design and global scale, includes the big 4 firms: EY, KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte.
No big surprise there, maybe.
Perhaps not, but the report notes an interesting philosophical difference among them. EY and KPMG tend to lead with an IRM-first narrative, where GRC is seen as an enabler within that broader context. PwC and Deloitte, maybe more often, frame IRM as GRC modernization, although their actual delivery is increasingly spanning the full IRM lifecycle, too. They're all making credible moves towards that agentic AI delivery we discussed, like KPMG's Workbench or EY.ai.
Got it. And the other tiers, accelerators and pace setters.
Right. Then you have the accelerators. Firms like FTI Consulting, DS Plus Pet Fertility, they deliver really strong value in more targeted domains, maybe complex investigations or specific areas like industrial safety. They accelerate progress in a particular area.
Makes sense. Specialized power.
Precisely. And finally, the pace setters. This includes firms like Grant Thornton, JS Held, and RSM. These often offer strong niche strengths and are very credible, especially for the mid-market or for more fit-for-purpose goals where maybe you don't need the full global scale of an integrator.
Okay.
The report's advice is pretty clear. Think about using integrators for that broad enterprise-scale orchestration. Look to accelerators to fill specific capability gaps. And consider pace setters for more focused programs where maybe agility or specific niche expertise is key.
So tailoring the choice to the specific need.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is incredibly helpful context. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, whether you're leading a large enterprise grappling with these huge, complex systems, or maybe a growing mid-sized company trying to build resilience from the ground up? This report gives concrete guidance. What are the absolute top, say, 2 or 3 pieces of advice for large enterprises looking to navigate this RMC space?
Yeah, great question. For large enterprises, if I had to boil it down, the most critical takeaways are, first, aligning your partner selection very closely with your overall change agenda, and second, demanding measurable outcomes, especially when it comes to AI.
Okay, outcomes and evidence.
Exactly. So first, the report strongly emphasizes contract for outcomes, not just hours.
That sounds simple, but probably isn't easy.
It requires discipline, but it's a strategic imperative. Tie the fees directly to measurable business outcomes, things like reducing time to assurance, speeding up incident recovery, cutting down audit exceptions.
Real business metrics.
Real business metrics. Why is that shift so vital? Because it forces the consultant to be deeply invested in your success, not just their billable hours. It requires them to deliver a written operating model that clearly maps their work to those IRM integration points we discussed. Goals, processes, assets, and policies. It forces clarity.
Makes sense. What's the second key piece?
Second, regarding AI, adopt an evidence-first posture. You mentioned that long on ambition, short on verifiable delivery line. The report is blunt. Demand proof that goes way beyond marketing claims.
Al, what kind of proof?
Insist on seeing at least 2 production use cases working, live examples relevant to your business, not just generic demos. Ask for documented trust controls like that ISO 42001 alignment we mentioned. Get proof of interoperability with your existing risk tech stack. You need clear outcome metrics tied back to PRAC. If they can't show you tangible proof, honestly, you should be very skeptical.
Okay, be demanding on proof for AI. Got it.
Yeah.
Anything else for large enterprises?
And third, I'd say prioritize modular managed services. Look for contracts that offer flexibility, use open connectors, and have clear data portability plans. You really want to avoid vendor lock-in down the road.
Future-proofing.
Exactly. This also connects to the report's recommendation for a practical 12-week proof of value. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Yeah.
Scope 2 material use cases. Run a design workshop. Implement a minimal telemetry backbone, basically. Get the basic data flows working, and then decide on a larger scale-up based on measurable improvements. Prove the value quickly before committing huge resources.
Start small, prove it, then scale. Very practical. That makes a lot of sense for large organizations. But what about small and mid-sized enterprises, SMEs? Do they just follow the same path, or are there important nuances in how they should approach selecting an RMC partner?
That's a really important distinction. While the core principles, outcomes, evidence are definitely the same, the approach for SMEs needs to be optimized for speed, cost predictability, and frankly, minimizing the internal lift required from their potentially smaller teams.
Okay, so efficiency and practicality are paramount.
Absolutely. So first, when it comes to right-sizing the partner, those accelerators and selected pace setters we talked about are often the natural first choices for SMEs. They're usually excellent at packaging IRM capabilities effectively for a leaner organization.
So maybe not automatically jumping to a Big Four firm.
Generally, engaging the Big Four is probably reserved for SMEs in highly regulated industries or those facing really complex multi-country transformations. For many SMEs, an accelerator or pace setter might offer a better fit and value.
Okay, what about contracting and AI?
Second, just like larger companies, contract for outcomes. But for SMEs, fixed fee or clear milestone structures tied to those PRAC metrics are often even more critical for budget predictability. You need that clarity upfront.
Makes sense. Predictable costs.
Third, maintain that same rigorous evidence-first AI posture. The verification gates don't change just because you're smaller. You still need working production use cases relevant to you, documented trust controls, and proof of interoperability. For SMEs, it's maybe especially important to prioritize multi-agent designs with explicit trust layers and open connectors to simplify integration with whatever systems you already have.
Keep it manageable.
Right. And finally, consider modular managed services. This can be a very cost-effective option for SMEs who might lack deep internal expertise in certain areas. But again, always ensure data portability and actively avoid proprietary lock-ins. You don't want to be trapped.
Okay. Any quick start advice for SMEs?
Yeah, the report suggests a similar practical 12-week quick start, but maybe even more focused for SMEs. Pick just 1 or 2 really critical business use cases, define the decision rights very clearly up front, and implement a minimal telemetry backbone using your existing platforms plus the consultant's accelerators. Then scale up based on those measurable improvements. Keep it focused, keep it fast.
So the key RFP prompts for SMEs should focus on:
optimize for package scope and price. Definitely look for lightweight integrations and explore robust managed services options. Insist on clear cost controls, strong ongoing support, and importantly, useful templates or tools that reduce your team's internal burden. Make it easier for your team.
Excellent. Very clear distinctions there.
So if we just zoom out for a second, connect this back to the bigger picture, what's crystal clear from this deep dive, I think, is that risk is no longer just some back office control function. It's not just about compliance anymore. It has fundamentally evolved into a strategic force that profoundly shapes the very performance, the resilience, and ultimately the future success of an enterprise. Fragmented oversight, those old compliance silos, They're simply unsustainable in today's complex, interconnected world.
Yeah, the stakes seem much higher now. It's not just about avoiding bad things, but enabling good things too.
Precisely. It's about performance and resilience working hand in hand.
So the real question for you, our listener, reflecting on all this is, how is your organization integrating risk? Is it just to protect itself from potential pitfalls? Or are you actively using it to propel performance and build true, lasting resilience in what feels like an increasingly unpredictable world?
That's the challenge.
This deep dive into the 2025 IRM Navigator Vendor Compass for RMC report has laid out a powerful framework and some really practical steps. We invite you to consider what part of this integrated risk management evolution, this shift from GRC to IRM, resonates most deeply with your own organizational challenges and, importantly, your opportunities.
That wraps up another episode of the Risk Wheelhouse. Thank you for spending time with us at Wheelhouse Advisors today. We hope you found the conversation insightful and actionable for your organization's risk strategies. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis and thought leadership on risk technology, be sure to visit the Risk Tech Journal at therisktechjournal.com. It's your go-to source for comprehensive articles, expert interviews, and the latest trends shaping the industry. Subscribe today to stay informed. For any inquiries or feedback, please contact us directly at info@wheelhouseadvisors.com, or feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn and x.com and share your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. Visit wheelhouseadvisors.com for more information and resources. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, navigate wisely.